I'm Helen Scrayback, and I'm getting ready to make a potica. And potica is an old Slovenian delicacy. It's a nut bread that we do for holidays, weddings, and all kinds of important events of the year. I watched my mother making potica for years, and we did an old-fashioned style then we did it all in one day. But as I got older, recipes changed, and now I make it in 2 sessions. I make the dough the night before, and the second day I do the filling and incorporate the two to make the whole deal. Okay, we're starting to make the dough. I'm putting in a cup of butter, a half a cup of milk, and I will, and salt, and a 1/3 cup of sugar. We're gonna melt that down and scald it, and then we will cool it down, and then add our eggs and flour. I'm adding my 4th cup of warm water to the yeast to let it proof while I'm doing the other, heating the milk and butter and sugar to cool it down. I did separate my eggs. The whites I've got in the refrigerator. I'm saving to make the potica in the morning. And the yolks, 3 yolks, I beat them a little bit. I'm adding them to the butter milk mixture, and now I will add all of this to the yeast over here and start adding my flour. I will add 1 cup first and beat it smooth. I still have the habit of sifting my flour. Maybe it's not necessary, but I do. Okay, my 2nd cup. That's 2 cups. I will go ahead and measure the 3. We'll see how we go. The first one was a little bit shy. I'll go down. Okay. This is about half of it. It's still a little bit too sticky, so I will add some more. And that's actually the way that it's going in a ball. I like that. What I'm gonna do is just a little bit more, and I'll knead that in. And there's a tablespoon left or so of the 3 cups. Okay, that's the dough ready for tomorrow. Okay, I'll put the lid on and put it in the refrigerator overnight. Okay, I'm putting it in the refrigerator until tomorrow morning.
stuff in here.
I've heated a cup of milk. Now I will add the dates. I'm adding a half of cup of dates, and I will bring those to a boil. And I will also add to that 3 tablespoons of sugar, and it's going to bring it to a boil, and it'll cook approximately 10 minutes till they're soft. Then I will mash them. They appear to be cooked enough now. I've cooked them approximately 10 minutes. I've got the potato masher, and I'm mashing them down so they will be more soft and incorporated with the nuts. I will now add the nuts. I've added a teaspoon to my nuts, the 2 cups of nuts that I've measured. And I'm adding it to the pot with the dates and the milk, which is already thickened. And I stir it till it's, usually it doesn't get as thick, but this time it's thick or sooner. I will take it off the heat, use that heat that's still on the element, and it's ready to cool now. I've got to cool this down before I do my egg whites. And I'm to hasten the cooling, I've put it in a sink that has a couple of inches of water in it so that it'll cool down quicker. And while this is cooling, I'm going to go to my egg whites. I'm now adding the 3 egg whites that I kept last night making the dough. And I always add a little bit of salt, just an old-fashioned thing. I will whip them till they're near thick. I forgot the vanilla. I added a cup of sugar after my egg whites got halfway stiff, and then I added about 2 to 3 teaspoons of vanilla. Now I have the beaten egg whites, which I will add to the nut mixture. Now I'm adding the egg whites to the nut mixture. Incorporate. You weren't supposed to see that, I guess, but it's okay. It takes a little while to get it. The nut mixture was pretty stiff, so in order to get the egg white completely in it, make sure we see, get it all in there. Get it all in the bottom. Okay, I will cut my dough in half. And it'll be used for the 2 sections. I'm preparing the cloth. I'm putting it down, and I will put flour on it so the dough will not stick to the cloth. And I usually just carry the sifter, but anyway. And the dough will be a little sticky, so I'm doing ample flour. And I will roll the dough to about an 18 by 18 inch. This is the first half of the dough, and as you see it's sticky. Okay, I'm going to start rolling it. The dough is a little bit stiffer than I thought. The thinner the dough, the better the pizza will be, because the nuts will be, there won't be as much dough between the layers of nuts. I don't want to get too much flour in there. So. Now, I will, let's see, where's that? What I'm going to do here, I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to add this here. I'm now going to add half of the filling to the dough and spread it thin. That's approximately half. I do goof sometimes. You try to make it as even as you can. Now, this is the end. These are going to be the outside end, so this, I want to make sure that I have some filling to the very end, because that'll be inside the pizza. The ends I will cut off in a bit after I roll it. I'm getting there. There's other nationalities that make poppy seed pizzas. That different areas make different kind. Now, of course, I was only raised making the nut one, okay? And my dad and his parents, my mom's parents also came from the same region in Yugoslavia. So I know it's from that region. And all parts of Yugoslavia, I think, are the same, of the former Yugoslavia. Now it's Slovenia. Joey knows the history. Bert will tell you too. Now, after I've completed spreading the nuts on the rolled dough, I start with get a little bit started here. Then, actually what does help a lot is if you'll pick your cloth up and take it slowly and roll it. And if it's rolled slow, I'm rolling it slow, because it does, if it's slow, it kind of takes care of itself as far as tightening. Okay. Have some flour on here, and I will brush that off. Now I cut the ends, because it'll take care of all those spaces on the end that didn't have filling. I will grease my pan. Okay, I'm spraying my pans with Pam. And actually you don't need to have, if it's sprayed well enough, nothing will stick even if some filling gets out. And I will put the seam faced up. And now I'm ready to do the second half. Because this is going to be stickier now because it's warmer dough. So I've got to make sure. The ones with dates, actually, I think the Potica is moister. It isn't as dry as those old-fashioned ones were. And that particularly is interesting as far as I'm concerned, because moisture cooked products are usually better. I like them better. What's a few more dates, you know? And now I'm going to put the filling, the seam in the middle. It's really soft already, the dough. I will get the toothpick, and just so that it releases if there's air in there, so it won't crack. Okay. I've let the dough raise while the oven was heating, and a few minutes longer, approximately 20 minutes. And I'm putting it in a 350-degree oven. Also, the ends, the little ends I will put in, they will bake in 12 to 15 minutes. The Potica loaf itself will take approximately an hour. So looking after 15 minutes in, it's rising. I don't want to lay too much air, okay? Came out clean. Let me turn the oven off. See, it's 6 minutes less than an hour, which could be okay, but let me leave it in that 6 minutes with that heat off. I'm ready to take it out. I think it's done. It better be done. See, it's kind of pretty, don't you think? And I'm gonna let it set just for about 5 minutes before I tip it over and cool it. Get it out of the pan onto the rack without dumping it. Let's take a peek. It's hot. It did break a little bit. This is what it looks like when it's finished. Looks pretty good, doesn't it? didn't actually make one in front of my mother. I started making it on my own the first year I got married. And I followed a recipe and I made it. I remembered how my mom used to do it. And I've made many over the years. I've made as many as 14 for the holidays. I've made it for all, every holiday we have. The kids demanded that we have pizza. Are we ready to hear about my pan? This pan, when Joe and I was buying our first home in 1950, we had his parents come with us to just show them what we were buying. And there was a bunch of trash in the corner. It was a sheriff's sale, they called it, but I would imagine a foreclosure. But it was called a sheriff's sale. And the folks were gone, the house was on the market, and in the corner was this trash. And my mother-in-law saw the pan, she says, I want that pan. And she was making chiffon cakes at that time, so she had it all those years. She moved in with Joe and I in 1989, and therefore I inherited the pan at that time. I've used it ever since, and it's made many petites. I like the shape of it. It's old, but I love the shape of it.